I wanna hear your thoughts. I wanna hear your sound. And mama always told me to shout and speak my mind out loud. Come on and talk when you got the time. Freedom, want you on the line. We wanna hear from you. You got it going. Let your voice shine. Platform yours is not just mine. We wanna hear from you. You got it going. Talk to me. Talk to me. Talk to me. Talk to me. You're gonna shine. Talk to me. Talk to me. Talk to me. Talk to me. You're gonna shine. Hey y'all, what's up? It's your boy Douglas, or you can call me Freedom. Welcome to my channel. Before we get started, make sure that you guys like this video, comment below this video, share this video, and subscribe to my channel because you need me. This is season 3, episode 2 of my podcast. Full disclosure, I am actually trying to get a microphone to use during my podcast for this season. I had a microphone, well, the microphone right here. Ooh, say hi to Ben, y'all, and Huggy Wuggy, and Pillow Plug. Sorry for derailing what I was trying to say. I have a microphone right there that I've had for a couple of years now, and I wanted to start using it for the podcast this season, which I will, but I bought the wire to actually, get it running and stuff, but I didn't buy the port that I actually needed to plug it into my computer. So you guys will kind of just see me execute probably the next couple of videos the same way I've always have been. It's just bumming me a little bit because, I want to give you guys newer and, just better stuff. But, just be patient. Just be patient. As I say always, forgive my background, my neighborhood, and my brother. I did want to make the room a little bit more vibey, so I have the green on because y'all know green all day. But I also just finished using my incense machine. I put an orange scent on. It kind of like picks up the mood and stuff. And I do have my humidifier on as well. It glows up. You guys could probably see it in like the corner or whatever. I hope y'all like it. I hope y'all like the little setup or whatever. As y'all already know, I have a special guest with me today. And yeah, I think we should get started. All right, hey y'all. So we are in our first segment, Freedom of Speech. I have a familiar face with me, y'all fave, Janera. Say hi and introduce yourself for the people that are seeing you for the first time.
Hi everybody, it's Janera. I like to go by Janera Sky now, incorporating my middle name or whatever. I'm here for everything that it has to give. Like, I just love going deep, getting deep with y'all, getting deep with Douglas. Like, it's always a vibe, and we have so many like intellectual people that I know is watching this, so I'm just like so excited to be here.
For y'all who don't know, this is Janera's third time actually being on my podcast. She has been joining my podcast since season 1. So our episodes are always filled with us getting into in-depth topics. And I know she's going to be prepared for the topics we're going to discuss today. Just for this segment, I did just want to brush upon some general stuff. And then we're going to do another segment in a little while called Freedom Flashback, which is basically like freedom of speech, but we're discussing a topic that has to do with our past, something we experienced or still experience or are still experiencing. First of all, happy belated birthday, because you just turned 22.
Yes.
How does it feel to be 22?
Bro, it just feels like I'm getting older. Like, I know I'm so young, but I just feel so old with all the pressure that I have on my shoulders, and breaking generational curses. Like, it's just like a lot. And as you get older, you get wiser. So that's the main thing that I'm excited about. I'm just excited to see like what new wisdom I gain being 22 this whole year. So
I am 20 now, so I can't wait to be 21. I'm going to be turning 21 in a few months. How was being 21 for you? I mean, I know you had an adventurous year, so.
Yeah, I mean, being 21 was lit because you could just slap your ID on the table like, here, I'm
That's
21.
literally all that I'm waiting for.
Like, exactly, because everything is 21 and up and shit. But that don't mean nothing because people will literally think that you're still under 21 even though you are 21. So you must have your ID. Like, prove wrong. Oops. Can I say that?
Have you on it? You can curse.
Prove them wrong. Slap that ID on account to let them know, like, Big adult. What?
Oh, how
Thank
do you say
you.
big adult and then the card is big legal?
Yes, big legal.
The car is big legal. I just wanted to say thank you for inviting me to your house. We turned up for your
I
little
had fun.
me and Janera and a couple of her friends, shout out to her friends. We got crunk. It was so much fun. And we never really got to actually hang out and mingle outside of talking and stuff on a podcast. And
Mhm.
with being a mom now, I know it's been like a lot, but I am so glad that we actually got to touch base. And really that was my first good night I had in a while, because I was actually telling them last episode that last summer went by. This summer went by so quickly, and I felt like it was my first like adult summer. Like all I did was work. All I
Mm,
did was work. Like I hung out one or two nights, but I mainly was working all summer. Like I wanted this summer to be a little bit better than last summer, being that last summer was so traumatic, with my mom
yeah.
and whatnot. But I kind of wanted this summer to be more fun, but I mean, it wasn't bad like last year. It was just boring. My AC had broke, so I was in my mom's room for the majority of the time.
Hmm.
My mother is growing a plant, so there's been flies and stuff on her room because of it. I was torturing in there. Like, you have
Mm,
absolutely no clue. The only good thing though, I knew I was going to be able to come back into this room and kind of like get
thinking.
myself back together,
Yeah.
because there's been ladybugs in my room for the last couple of weeks.
We spoke about
Yeah,
this
yeah,
ladybug thing.
we
I don't
spoke
know.
about it at the pod at your party.
Yeah, I don't know if like if it's an infestation of the building because there has been so many ladybugs, like unbelievably an amount of ladybugs. So I'm starting to think it's an infestation, but ladybugs also symbolize luck. So everybody in this building is just lucky, okay?
I was
Because
about to say, because ladybugs do symbolize good luck. I remember being so scared of them when I was younger, but my mom and them always told me that like they meant good luck. Those were the,
yeah,
if you know me, those are the
yeah,
only insects I tolerate in my presence.
exactly.
For real. No, like for real. Like let's keep it a bug. Like
Like,
I'm not with any other insect. Like, but ladybugs, I let them chill. But there was four in my room. And one particular night when I did come in here for something during the summer, I remember seeing like one up there and then like two over there. And then it looked like one of them was hatching like a new one or something. And I remember telling you and your friends this at the party. I went on my phone to look up, like, okay, how long are they supposed to stay in my room? Because I didn't know if I wanted it to be the Ladybug Hot Girl hangout. It wasn't given.
yeah.
Let them stay in my room for long periods on end or whatever. I wasn't.
No. Mm,
So that's why I was kind of just like, but then I was like, you know what? You know what? They actually said online that multiple ladybugs means like a huge amount of good luck. So I was like, take y'all time, do
yeah.
it, stay for as long as you need, because
Bring this
the
energy
luck is
in.
definitely something I need. I need luck in all aspects of my life. So
Right.
my sister did feel like it was also like a real spiritual meaning that they were in the room. I remember when I told her about how I never really had ladybugs in my room for that long. Like they were in my room for a couple of weeks. And
Hmm.
she told me like she felt like that was mama.
They can appear through bugs, through birds, through pictures, through a lot of stuff. They can
I
show up
heard
in a
that
lot.
dragonflies is like a big thing as well. Like that shows that spirit. Like if a dragonfly flies to you and stuff like that, or if you see a swarm of them, that means that like spirits are like visiting you or whatever. The
Yeah,
thing I just
butterflies,
want my mother to
butterflies
know,
too.
because
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I'm big afraid of insects. Like I can't
You want
really.
to swat it, like want to
Yo,
swat
what?
it
I would have
back
swatted
to
it
the.
just because I'm scared. Like, come on.
Yep.
But something else that I also did want to bring up to you, the Mercury retrograde. What was up with that? Because I'm not gonna lie, there was a lot of crazy shit happening in the last couple of weeks, and now that
Yo,
I know that ended on the 14th, even though it still felt like we were in like the remnants of it in the last couple of days, because well, we're not gonna say where we live, but our neighborhood specifically, a lot of shit has been going down in the last 3 days.
yeah, I don't even know when it ends. So you seen that it ends on the 14th? I don't know. I don't know when it ends, but I know like when it's in retrograde, it's going backwards. So that means like communication is messed up, like everybody is misunderstanding each other, problems is happening and unfolding and stuff like that. So you have to be really aware of how you act during Mercury retrograde, and you have to be like, you shouldn't take anything personal because everybody is feeling the effects of this. And since like Mercury rules communication, communication is just backwards, like just messed up. So I know for me, like Mercury retrograde, it always hits for me because I'm a Virgo. I'm ruled by Mercury, so it's like I always get caught up in these times. Like the craziest shit be going down during these times for me. And I heard like 7 planets was in retrograde, but like this stuff, like I be using my spirit to discern whether or not this thing, like certain things I know is true. Like I do feel the effects of Mercury retrograde, but I don't know how to tune in to feel the effects of the other planets. But I'm just like the whole vibe of outside right now is just chaos. So maybe since there's so many planets going backwards, that's why it's so chaotic. Like
the crime specifically in our neighborhood doesn't even feel like it's let up.
oh yeah, damn. Wow, yeah. A couple of things recently did happen over here.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like in the last 3 days, like there's been a lot of crap happening in our neighborhood. It made it decipher whether or not we was really out of it. Like, I mean, I stay in my house, but it doesn't mean that people don't talk. It doesn't mean that you still can't see stuff from the window.
Yeah, like during this time too, it's really important to remember that everybody is going through their own shit. Like everybody is going through their own battles, as we see in our hood. And like in my personal life, like I do stay inside, but still somehow, some way, like, you know, drama just happens out of nowhere because communication is messed up and you're misunderstanding each other. This time period is just a time period to actually be in hermit mode. They say like you should be inside, you should be indoors, you should be doing a lot of like inner work, reflecting during this time period. You have to have a lot of self-discipline, like especially with your emotions. Shit is just crazy during this time period. Always remember that during Mercury retrograde, do not quickly react. Do not, you know, over explain yourself. Try not to go out. Try to stay inside because it's chaotic as fuck outside. So
I mean, not for nothing, you know, our neighborhood is always a little chaotic regardless. But it does seem like it's gotten more chaotic in the last week or so.
New York in general is chaotic. Like,
you want to know what's chaotic? Let's talk about how the trains are $3.
Yep.
When they're not even worth $2.75.
That's the gag order. Gag order. Like the hot train stations, the lack of ventilation, the amount of freaking I don't even want to call them bums, homeless people, crackheads, whatever. Like this lady literally spit on this man's face 3 times, okay?
What?
In the train station 3 times. You don't know what you're going to come across. You don't know who you're going to come across. There's no really guaranteed protection. Like it's every man for themselves. Yeah. And you want me to pay $2.90?
Yeah, the cops want they want to make sure that you get on the train, but they can't assure your safety on the train.
They just want to make sure you pay. They don't care about your safety.
And that's messed up.
There should be cameras in every cart. There should be one cop at least on
every cart or every couple of carts or something, or like every couple of carts. Like they could be in a car where like it's easy to transfer to like other cars.
Yeah, why isn't there at least one cop? Like they should have a booth on a train for the cop.
Yeah, or at least I've been saying that shit since I was younger. Like they should really have like a designated spot for them. It's ridiculous at this point. Like to train and have to be in fear because you don't know the type of timing that everybody's on. Yo, I was on a train a couple of days ago coming back from my friend. I saw these like teenagers coming home from school. I forgot that girl. That's the one thing that I think that I hate also about taking a train. I don't be liking to mix and mingle with the kids coming home from school because you know they be mad, hype, energetic, carrying on, cussing.
Parents not around, so they doing whatever they want.
Parents not around, so they doing whatever the hell they want, you know. And they was playing tug of war, tag, something, and they was throwing this bottle cap or something across the train. And the only thing on my mind was, please don't hit me. Just make sure that just don't come in my direction. You know what I mean? Like, and I was just like, should I leave this car? But I don't feel like getting up. I be hating when I be having to contemplate that too. This Mercury retrograde, I really feel like it's been the reason for a lot of stupid stuff that's been going down in the last couple of weeks, for sure.
You said that this was a Disney theme, like this season is Disney themed.
Yeah.
And I love Disney movies like so much. Like I literally bought Disney Plus recently to watch a new Disney movie. I just want to know, what Disney movie did you watch appeal to you the most? Like what had the strongest message to you?
Girl, you know what's the Don Dada of all Disney movies for me? The blueprint for like every Disney Channel movie made since we was born.
What? What?
Cheetah Girls.
Mm.
Cheetah Girls will always be my top number one. Cheetah Girls was my favorite movie growing up, and I still love the movie till this day. I love everything about it. You know what I mean? Like I know all the songs by heart. I have all the songs on my playlist. Like I said, it's the Don Dada of all Disney movies. It's the blueprint for all your favorite Disney movies. Like Girls for life for me.
I feel like the outfits were so iconic, the songs, the music, everything
Yes.
about it was just like original. It just had originality.
You know,
It
Whitney
was
Houston and her family was actually behind that. Like they
really,
produced it. And now when I know that, now when I actually listen to the songs, it do feel like it. Like I
yeah.
don't know what it is. There's a Whitney Houston embrace you get behind,
Hmm.
especially on the first movie.
I've seen it when I was younger, but now that I'm older, there's just a whole new lens that I watch movies with. There's two Disney movies that have real big messages in them. The new one, which is Elemental, which is about the four elements and everything like
Elements.
that. The message is just like it just shows you how society operates. Like when you see that movie, you're going to see how society is basically benefiting one element over the other element, completely neglecting the other element and just favoring one element. And it sounds interesting because that's how it is in real life with
Yeah.
minorities when we're really the majority, Black people, Hispanics or whatever, how society favors white people and just put us on the back burner. So Elemental show that part. The movie Soul shows you what happens when you die, supposedly. And it's like really deep. Like a big lesson that I got from that is live in the moment, live in the now, don't take anything for granted. Appreciate the little things, like, and just have soul, like have depth to you. There was a part of the movie called The Sunken Place, The Dark Place, which is where lost souls were. I don't even know if that's what it was called exactly, but it was them vibes. This was not no kids movie. I'm telling you.
This ain't for kids.
The graphics, but the message, kids will not be able to get this type of message from that movie. Like they put the truth in the movies, and they're going to do it a lot in the kids movies. Nobody's taking a kid
You're not
movie.
thinking to interpret a kid's movie too hard. Yeah.
Exactly. Like who's going to really look into a kids movie? Me. I look into everything. Okay. Like I look into it all. So the movie Soul and the movie Elemental I feel like those are spiritual movies, for real. Spiritual Disney movies. They should have a whole section for that on Disney.
That spiritual movies with hidden messages.
Yes, on Disney. I'm telling you.
But the reason why I wanted to make this podcast Disney Channel themed was just because I'm not the person that likes to do the same thing twice. Like for season one, especially being that I was just starting, I didn't want to do nothing too complicated. So I wanted to make season one a little colorful. I think the thematics that I even used for season one was just like sketchy, like colorful drawings and stuff. Season two was more of a refined type season. I wanted to kind of give like a comic book, but also vintage television. I wanted to like kind of combine it all in one, hence to why you saw like every time I would promote like the episodes or whatnot, it was just like the circles and stuff. And then it had like the little headings and stuff on the side to kind of make it like a comic book of some sort. I also wanted it to give like back in the day. And this season specifically, I wanted to make a Disney Channel theme. I actually, believe it or not, I didn't know at first what I wanted to even do with this season. I remember talking to some of my friends and stuff and just some of my family that was kind of just like, when are you planning on bringing it back? And I originally wanted to bring it back in August, but I was like, you know what? No, let me take my time with it, whatever. And I had to go on vocal rest this summer, which is a whole nother story. I also was not trying to rush into doing this podcast yet because I didn't know what I was going to do for I didn't know what I wanted the new theme of the season to be. I'm really into, like I said, rebranding and just like not doing the same thing twice, but doing something that also fits into the overall aesthetic of Freedom Savage. He's my musical alter ego who represents my childhood life. So anything that has to do with nostalgia, that's what Freedom Savage is. That's who Freedom Savage is. And I wanted the podcast to reflect that. So even though I'm rebranding, each theme applies to something childlike. Season one was more like the thematics was colorful, but it was sketchy, kind of like kids drawing. Or like season two was like comic book related, kids read comic books,
Mhm.
Even this season being Disney Channel inspired, I always wanted to be on Disney Channel. I feel like that was every kid when we were younger. We always we at at one point auditioned to be on a contest and stuff or whatnot,
Yeah.
or just we
Yeah.
should have our own show, and I was really a big ass fan of just my black girls that was running Disney. Like, shout out to Raven Simone, Zendaya, China Anne McClain, Kyla Pratt, like I just felt
Yeah.
like my black girls that was running Disney. And I feel like a lot of the themes that I even used for this season of the podcast definitely came from and were inspired by a lot of those shows. So I really wanted it to give like a very early 2000s aesthetic to not tie with Freedom Savage, but overall also just give something new and fresh to the podcast. And I really hope everybody like it. Yeah, thank you. That was actually a good ass question.
Yes. Listen, I
That was a good
like
ass
Disney
question.
Channel.
Your favorite show on Disney?
I love Shake It Up. I love Wizards of Waverly Place. I just love Wizards of Waverly Place because it was so magical. And
Yeah,
Shake It Up,
we big magic buffs.
yes, and I love magic like from a child. And Shake It Up was so like I love to dance, and that's all Shake It Up was about was dancing. And then I love Good Luck Charlie. Like I think it was just so funny. And Jesse, I love Jesse. Like oh my God, Austin and Allie. Like
Yo, Austin and Allie, Austin
listen, I'm
and Allie
telling
was
you,
my whole show. Jesse too.
Trish definitely like she set this. She paved the road for our generation as far as leaving and coming and going with jobs. I literally be feeling like Trish. Like I
Yes,
be
yes.
hopping from job to job. I don't
Shout out
care.
to Rainy Rodriguez. Yes.
Yeah, she really paved the like honestly, we thought nothing of it as a child, but as we grow up, that's a lot of our generations. A lot of place.
It's all about her bread. All
Yes, she always had a job, whether it was different one or not, but she always had a job. Like our generation, our generation, we just don't settle. Like it just seems like we don't settle until we get what we want, to be honest. Because we could get to a job, pay is good, but if the energy isn't right, we're like, oh, we about to quit. The energy isn't right here. Whereas older people, they've been here 10, 15 years. I love that.
Do you feel like Gen Z has what it takes to improve more work environments?
Yes and no. See, I be seeing both sides of everything. I say no because I feel like our generation is just so selfish. Like we don't care if it's going to be short of staff or whatever. Like if we don't feel like coming in, we're not coming in. Like that's a lot of people in our age group. Like I've seen this so many times at a lot of jobs that I worked at. Like the younger folks were not as consistent, but I feel like we could also like you said, improve it by if we become bosses, we can basically treat our employees in a way where the energy is good in a place where they would want to be there. Like who usually has a work environment that they want to come to, no matter what the job is. Like it could be McDonald's. Like even though the job is stressful, it's about like the nature of the energy, the team.
Atmosphere. Yeah.
So our generation, we will make good bosses. This is why I was saying like I'm gonna be a boss because we make good bosses. We're all about not settling till we get what we want and just doing whatever the we want. We don't care. Everything that society normalized, we're just twisting that shit up. Like
I don't like that feeling of being under somebody or something. I want to have my own stuff, like I was always, especially, with my mother, like she always kind of like installed in me that mentality of like being my own boss. So it's definitely something that I incorporate into like everything that I do. I'd rather work alongside somebody, but not under nobody.
Yeah. And we come from the generation like my parents are hard workers. Like I watched them work so hard throughout their life and everything like that. And I just don't see why you wouldn't put that same energy into doing something for yourself, into building something for you. If you can put 10 years of work for somebody else, why can't you do that for your business or your come up? So I feel like our parents were hard workers and now we are meant to be the boss. I feel like our parents' generation and prior would be the last good generation of workers, to be honest. Because
really?
Yes. Like, do you see how we're making TikToks at the job place and shit? Like, do you see how we act? People just quit jobs up and go. Austin Alley, like I said, Trish, she's a perfect example of that. She came and she left. I've seen this at so many places that I worked at. Like, places are seriously understaffed because we don't want to work. It's us. Like, our parents already have city jobs. They've been there 10, 15 years. The new generation doesn't want to work because we are all about ourselves.
I will say this, our generation has a problem with coping with things that we don't feel make us comfortable, which I do feel like to a certain extent is good. Yes, in life, you're going to have obstacles. We have to learn how to endure certain things. That way we could be stronger for them in the future. That way we'll know how to easily get around them. However, there are a lot of toxic work environments and just the way the system is set up, even when it comes to like getting work and like certain things that you have to do at jobs, I feel like our generation is not only just like, saying no to some of these jobs or so quick to walk away from some of these jobs because, we're selfish and this, that, and the third. I do think that a part of it is because we're not going to mentally and emotionally drain ourselves just so we can make money. That's actually what I love about our generation. We're heavy, and I think I said this last season, we're really big on speaking up about things that are wrong.
Yeah. Like, I'm not going to say
putting-
we don't like working. We just like working for ourselves. Like, we like doing what the we want to do. Like, simple
Yeah.
as that. We're the new generation. We are the new adults. And without us having this mentality, shit isn't going to get done. Like, we're not going to evolve. If generation keeps trying to be like the previous one and so on, what kind of evolution are we going to have? We're not going to have any type of evolution.
Yeah.
So I think our generation, I think we have a good balance of, because I'm not going to say we're completely selfish. I know I'm not completely selfish, but I'm selfish in the sense of, with my energy, I'm willing to give just this much. I'm not giving you all of me when you're going to replace me like that. Like, I'm not about to bust my ass for you. Like, I'm going to do exactly what I have to do, and that's that. Don't expect me to stay 2 hours late to help close the store just because Jack been doing that for 10 years. I'm not doing that.
Like, nah. We gonna cut that and nip that right in the bud. There are things that have been put in the workplace for years, no matter what job you work, and it's hard to just take that in, And I feel like our parents' generation, they come from this very much walking through fire mentality. It's like nothing can phase them. If something's wrong, they got to put it aside. They just got to work. They just got to keep going.
They're in survival mode. They just been in survival mode for the last 60 years, I'll say. Matter of fact, since slavery ended. Like, slavery wasn't even 200 years ago. Like, the ripple effect is really present. Like, a lot of
we're still technically in slavery.
Yeah, it's mental. It's just mental.
Black people always have to work 10 times harder.
I was saying this to my mother the other day. I'm just like, why do they ask you what race you are? Like, oh, you're African, oh, you're this. Like, why is the word to describe that called race? It's like everybody is like, it's like we're racing against each other. But when you enter in here, you're racing as a Black person, you're racing as a white person. If you're racing as a white person, you may have less obstacles to jump over because the path is clear for you. Society is built in your favor. For the Black person, I've seen like this visual basically representation of it. It just shows like how when a Black person is racing, it's a whole bunch of obstacles that they have to jump over, whereas it's just a straight run for white people. So it's really interesting with all of that. I don't like saying that I'm Black because I know that's not what I'm not a color, and I'm beyond, like, we are so much more divine than just Black. Like, they literally limited us to a color.
It kind of also goes to show more of the demand that we're taking when it comes to our value and just like our place in society. So interesting to learn and begin to realize how much more of an importance and more of a hold that we had on society than we probably ever knew that we did.
And we accept it. Like, it's programmed into our minds. So I feel like after slavery, I feel like our parents, and our parents and so on became much more compliant. Like, they were scared to break the rules. They just wanted to sit at a table that they're not supposed to be at, even though the government is corrupt as like you said, they're going to still walk through the fire. They're still going to get through it. Like, but with us, it's like, no, that's bullshit. We're not tolerating that. We've been tolerating this for too long.
With them being in survival mode came a huge lack of mental health awareness. And I do feel like it's resulted in a lot of I can't speak for your parents specifically, but my parents definitely have their fair share of emotional issues when it came to the stuff that they grew up with. And, they felt like they had to tolerate it, and they felt like they had to eat it up because they had no platform. They never had no space to talk to somebody about it. That's for a lot of Black people, Black men, a lot too, a lot.
Yes.
It took my dad a couple years to even come forth about a lot of his emotional issues that he was having with himself. It took him years, literally up until a couple of years ago, because he always had this, I'm just going to suppress my emotions. I'm just going to, like I said, walk through fire.
You're damn sure going to get burned walking through that fire.
I'm about to say, in there being a survival mode came a huge lack of mental health awareness, which I feel like our generation is bringing more to the surface.
Yes, I feel like that's why the crack epidemic hit the Black community so hard, because everybody is just looking for an escape. Nobody knows how to properly deal with their inner turmoil and their problems that they got going on. So they're going to crack, they're going to liquor, they're going to all types of drugs and shit to try to numb the pain. And it's like, like you said, by suppressing it, and that's not going to do anything. And we don't even realize how deep genes are. Like, everything that you do and you say is being recorded in your genes. And when you have children, them genes is going to be passed on to your children. So if you created a habit of being an alcoholic, so much to the point where it altered your genes, and you have kids, they now have the risk of growing up to be an alcoholic, depending on what path they go down. If they don't have the proper guidance and end down the path like you did to become an alcoholic, they will become an alcoholic. So it's like, when it comes to us dealing with our emotions, we have literally programmed our genes to not know how to do that. Like, we don't know how to heal. Like, we do, but we need to tap back into it, because all the information we need is within us. We just don't have, we're blocked. Like, we have to tap back into that. When you create this whole suppressing emotions things and shit like that, you pass that on to your kids. And men, I really feel bad for men that do that. I don't know why they created that societal standard where men feel like they have to suppress their emotions. And I think this is why the world is like it is today, because it's no emotions. Like, everything is so cold, and it's ran by man.
Men were always, from the beginning, I felt like always kind of deemed to be the fighters, the soldiers, the one to take on everything. And I feel like that also kind of leads into why there are societal expectations placed upon men, because we were always looked to be the caregivers, the protectors, the people to put in the physical work to ensure safety for our families and stuff like that. And something else that I really do love that our generation is doing, I see a lot of men stopping that. I've seen a trend in men taking care of themselves, at least from a social media perspective. Like, there have been men that came to the surface about wanting to take care of themselves more and live kind of like the soft life, which I'm completely here for, because to me, that's also helping to break down those societal standards. Like, you're not weak for being vulnerable. You're not weak for crying. You're not weak for doing that stuff. It makes you more human. It makes you more strong.
You need to have a balance of masculine and feminine. You need to have the balance of both. And Disney Channel, just I feel like, I don't know, the shows, the lessons, everything that came from them, them shows made our generation into what we are today. I genuinely believe that.
Yeah, the Freedom Savage era, what this era is all about. It's really about feeding your inner child, taking care of your inner child, because our childhood is the foundation for our lives. And if we don't work to nurture that, what are we doing?
Right.
The Freedom Savage podcast will be right back after these messages.
Do you want to get some locks or need help maintaining locks you have already? Crown Kinks got you covered. Yes, you heard that right. The goddess of locks got you covered. With Crown Kinks, it's your hair, so it's your say. DM on Instagram at Crown Kinks to discuss pricing, bookings, consultations, and all other inquiries. All is welcome as long as respect is shown to the wonderful at-home business. As a proud client, I can assure you, your hair will be done with great precision and an incredible amount of care.
Oh man, delicious!
Are there any words needed? Tati's Sweet House is open for business, and she makes all types of scrumptious and beautiful baked goods for any occasion. DM Tati on Instagram at Tati_sweet_house to discuss pricing and all other inquiries. Quaygold's Beauty is a luxury business that sells essential beauty products such as lashes, lip glosses, matte lip gloss, lip scrubs, body scrubs, candles, and jewelry. Don't even let me hold you back. Go ahead and DM at QuayGoldsBeauty_ to get your hand on the products that you need. Hey y'all, what's up? It's your boy Douglas, or you could call me Freedom. I am proud to announce that my official website is now up and running. Yes, you heard me here. My official website is up and running, freedomsavageentertainment.net. This website took forever, a lot of planning, a lot of creativity. Make sure you guys subscribe to my website for updates on anything that I'm doing, and you guys will still see changes made to it over time. All of the links to all of my stuff is on the website. It's gonna basically be my creative hub, and I can't wait to, show you guys how this empire that I have will develop over time. All right, make sure y'all head to the website because it's definitely giving what it's supposed to. Peace out.
And we're back. Tap in, y'all. The Freedom Savage podcast is here.
Hey y'all, so we are in our segment, Freedom Flashback. I already explained this segment to you guys already. For those who need a little bit of a reminder, this is a segment that is similar to freedom of speech, but we are focusing on one topic that has to do with past experiences of ours or something that we still are currently experiencing. So whether that's taking the train or dealing with fake friends and stuff like that, like it's topics that we've experienced or probably are still experiencing. Janera and I wanted to talk about growing up in the projects and dealing with the whole gentrification aspect of things. Me and Janera have a lot to get off of our chest with this topic because we are still growing up in the projects. I was going to say growing up in the projects. We are still currently living in New York City housing, and every day it's something new with our building, and it's very frustrating. And to even start us off, I wanted to give a little story time. You know how I be doing my little story times to Douglas or whatever. I was in the elevator with one of our neighbors, and I'm not going to specify their gender or, give their name or nothing like that. Cause I do, I'm cool with them. It's a high and by rapport,
Mm-hmm.
But the elevator already had pee in it. This specific person also has a dog of their own, and their dog ended up peeing in the elevator on top of the pee that was already there, because I believe that in the dog's mind, the dog felt like, okay, well, since there's already pee on the floor and my owner is taking me out to pee, this might be the spot for me to pee. At least that's what I feel like went into the dog's mind, because the dog looked down at the pee and then started peeing. So, and obviously they didn't clean it up, whatever. They left the elevator, and the elevator was...
Oh, so you was in the elevator
I was in the elevator with slippers, by the way. Slippers and socks. I was so upset because the elevator, a quarter of the elevator was already, already had pee in it. But
I already know what you're talking about. Yep.
Yo, adding the pee on top of that just did me in so much, because we weren't even downstairs yet. And I had slippers on with socks, like the conditions that we have to endure. One of them specifically being the environment. I feel like the environment and the environmental conditions we live under are put upon us by, them, because we know who they are.
Them. That's what we're going to refer to them as. Them.
Yeah, but I also feel like it's because of some of us, no shade, but some of us that live out here are just dirty, and we don't make the problem. We don't make the problem any better.
Oh my God, yo, this is powerful. What we're about to say is powerful.
And I wanted to get your opinion on it first when it comes to just the environment and how dirty it is.
Horrible. Like it's bad. And it doesn't have to be this bad. If everybody would just change their perspective, like just because this is NYCHA doesn't mean you have to live like it's NYCHA. Like it's not even only NYCHA in general. I've seen so many buildings like this. It's so much stuff outside the window and outside on the grass, like, you know, people throwing Pampers out the windows, pads out the window, all types of stuff out the window because you're too lazy to make a garbage and go to the incinerator. And then with the inconsideration of the elevator, like people would throw up in the elevator, dogs would pee in the elevator, like all types of stuff would happen, and people don't have the like the urge, that sense of community to clean it up. Like, you know, my bleach spilled in the hallway and I mopped the whole hallway because it was in front of all my neighbors' doors. My neighbors could have slipped. Anything could have happened. And I don't want that to happen. So I cleaned it up because why would I leave it there? Not a lot of people have that mentality in the hood. Like, you know, it's every man for themselves. And that's wrong. Like, it shouldn't be like that at all. And it makes the environment very unhealthy and toxic. And it can get depressing. It can.
Yeah, because then you start to think to yourself, what am I doing living here? Why am I living here? Why is the environment like this? I always was told in church, and just outside, you know, because my mom also believed in this too. Your environment can have an effect on you, and you can have an effect on your environment. It's really magical when you think about it. Like if you're depressed, that's why usually a lot of people that are depressed, they live in messy environments, or the environments become messy because you're so depressed or just so worn down in your inner spirit that energy transfers out. So you lose your keys, you stub your toe, you trash starts to pile up in your space. Like your environment connects to your spirit, connects to your emotions. And I feel like if you're a clean person, or you happen to be a person that keeps yourself together, but you end up going into environments that just happen to be so dirty, it could also have the reverse effect. The environment could taint your spirit. You know, I have some dirty ass neighbors. Again, no shade.
But in my family neighborhood, everybody clean up after their dog. In New York, nobody cares.
Oh yeah, they don't. It's a toilet. It's a toilet for dogs out here. So like, yo, if your dog needs to shit, you come to our block. Like that. Yep. We've had human feces scattered around our floor, on some of our doors. Thank God not mine, because my mom would have flipped. But I remember coming home from vacations and stuff to just shit in the lobby, shit in the hallways, like shit in the elevator, like it's ridiculous. And then our neighborhood specifically is being gentrified, like we previously stated, heavily getting gentrified. They've been working on certain areas for a couple of years now. Stuff that was supposed to have been finished years ago, they are still not even halfway through. And we are living in the middle of all of that construction. I wrote on Facebook a couple of weeks ago that housing management needs management themselves. Even making a ticket to fix something in your house, and these houses alone, Janera.
Oh, I put in a ticket and they can't come until December 30th.
Wait a minute, hold on.
So you expect me to wait that long for you to come? Like, it's insane. And I really don't understand. Like you said, spot on. Housing management needs management. These people have been in housing for 20 plus years or whatever, and they're just comfortable with them. They're not realizing that they're not doing their job. They're just there because they've been there for so long, but they're outdated. Like, we need new software, uninstall them, period. I wanted to touch on what you said as far as like how when people are depressed, like their environment is messy. It's a saying, as above, so below, as within, so without. And like, I feel like the hood just represents how we view ourselves, how we treat ourselves, how we take care of ourselves. Because if you're allowing your home to be looking like this, then what does that say about you internally? What are you allowing to yourself that is, like, you know, detrimental to yourself, where you're letting your hood just be ran through, gentrified, like we don't have no type of say. It's like, it's a lack of unity, and that just shows like how much we value ourselves. the building, just because it's NYCHA does not mean it has to be treated like NYCHA. This is your home. Like, you're lucky God has put a roof over your head. Treat it as such. How you treat your home, in my opinion, says a lot about how you would treat yourself.
Because the gentrification does take an effect to everybody's house, no matter whether your house looks pitch perfect or, you know, really, really fucking dirty. Gentrification has taken a whole effect on everybody's houses. Like, for example, a lot more people, especially in the last couple of years, have been complaining about seeing more roaches in their apartments because they're doing the roof. And when they bang on the roof, I could hear them banging on the roof from my floor. So I could only
And that's what I was going to get into.
Floor.
Exactly. Things that they were supposed to fix, like you said, they were supposed to be fixed years ago. Now, why all of a sudden do you guys want to fix this? And it's, because of gentrification. Oh, you see these luxury buildings that they're building around here, and you see more of them out here. And it's like, what's going on? So now they're putting more pressure to make all the buildings, because they're NYCHA, they want to make the buildings fit in with the type of environment that they're trying to create, while pushing people out at the same time. Because for you to be doing heavy construction like that, why didn't you give none of the tenants a warning? Why didn't you consider, like, oh, is there a place that we can send them? Because my freaking ceiling got cracked. We got a flood happen. Like, the water was coming through the ceiling and the walls, flooded the apartment, like, and it's all because they were doing construction on a roof. And the construction used to be so unbearably loud. Like, and this was all during quarantine. Everybody's at home doing school on quarantine while it's loud construction going on up there.
It was so hard to do videos when you have them coming up on the cranes outside of the window, looking into your house, by the way, because sometimes they used to creep and lurk, especially when we took showers. Oh, we had to make sure that these windows were padded down, covered, because some of them will look into the room, laugh.
My little sister said that. She said while she was in the room in her Zoom class, the construction worker was looking in and copying everything that she was saying. So, yeah, she was in elementary school when this was happening.
First of all, she was still in elementary school when this happened?
Yeah, because she basically...
babe.
Yes.
Babe.
Yeah.
First of all, can we actually talk about that? Because there was this creepy ass construction worker that came up to me on some, don't even laugh. A couple of years ago, I would never forget this day. I was in my bag, by the way. I had put on this like real deep R&B playlist, and I was really like in my head, like thinking, I'm walking home from school. I'm just now coming back to the block. For everybody that knows, if you know, you know, on our block, walking towards our building, there's a little like ramp walkway thing because they destroyed the parking lot that was a part of our building for years on end to build some building that they have not even gotten halfway through the building. I was walking through the little pathway that they made, which is also filled with nothing but dirt and the bottom of the barrel of shit you could think of. When I got to the end of it, there was this weird ass construction worker that walked up to me. Did not know him from a hole in the wall. He walked up to me and he had something in his hand and he was like, do you see this? So and so and so. I couldn't even make out everything that he was saying because I had headphones on and he just ambushed me. When it comes to strangers, I'm going to stand. I'm going to wait for you to move out of my way. Like I don't make contact. So I'm standing there. He like, oh, I got something in my hand, whatever. Like, do you see this? Whatever. I'm like, no, sorry. Excuse me. No, what are you doing? Like, I'm over here, like really trying to maneuver. Then he sucked his teeth and walk away, but he had something weird in his hand. And it kind of scared me at one moment because I was like, do I need to throw hands? Do I need to really get it on with you, sir? Because I don't know what the hell you are. You have something in your hands. It don't look like a pen. It looked like a knife of some sort. It looked like some type of object. I'm not in the mood. Who are you? Like, you should be focusing on doing this building that's been taking years to build. Like, come on now.
This is because NYCHA does not put decent money into the unions and the contractors that they hire, because one, like, they are just very unprofessional. You hear their whole conversation outside your window. They're cursing, talking about this, that, and the third. Sometimes they like to play music. Like, they outside your window at 7 a.m. And this is all going down because of gentrification. And we're not considered because we're considered low income. But everybody else that's paying an arm and a leg to live out here is being considered generally because they have money. But that's, it's like,
really fucked up that they're even still referring to us as somebody's low income, because these apartments raised in rent. And if you ask me, they weren't even worth the original rent. So how the hell are we still even getting considered low income when we're paying a Manhattan condo's worth of rent for these shitty ass apartments?
They were going to charge my parents $2,000 plus. Freaking, like, our apartment got flooded, like $2,000 plus for that, like that's unreasonable. So I will understand if the building came with amenities. We don't even have security.
We don't have nothing. Any body could walk into our building with no problem. Dope fiends, you name it. And there are contracts that are put in place for them to build the center in our neighborhood and the elevators, because they also have been working on the elevators in each of our buildings, because we have identical buildings on our blocks that are sister buildings, and all of our buildings are getting elevators. Elevator replacements that we actually were supposed to be getting in the last couple of years, elevator replacements that were actually supposed to be completed and done by June of this year, but they're still not even halfway done. And I also heard that these elevators that they're building are going to be more narrow. So it's going to be hard to fit furniture and stuff in. Like they're making the cars skinnier instead of having at least one elevator be like a service elevator of some sorts to bring up, furniture and whatnot.
And this is because they're trying to push people out. I heard since the 90s is the last time that they were really replaced. People been complaining about them, and then it takes for gentrification to come to hit the neighborhood for stuff to start happening. And it's just disrespectful. It just shows you how they view us. It just shows you where we stand to them.
The contracts that were put in place for the elevators and the center specifically, there was a big paperwork delay with them. And it also aided into why everything took so long. But the way the papers were handled, I can't say verbatim what he said, but the way the papers were handled, it's to the point where like the construction workers could come, and as long as they come, that's work. Work was done. Like they're not heavily being monitored. Them showing up is getting something done, so that's why they're able to lollygag for such a long time. And now we're entering fall and winter season. So you already know there's going to be a bigger delay. Elevator C in each building is getting replaced. And it's caused elevators A and B to have ripple effects because of whatever they're touching or whatever they're doing in there. The middle elevator shuts down all the time. And the elevator that is by itself, elevator A, barely hangs on by a thread. It takes like a solid 20 minutes to get out of this building if you're not taking the stairs.
I literally need to factor that in when I go to work, when I do things. I need to factor in what time it actually takes for me to get out my building. Like, I'll be ready to let's boycott. I'm tired of paying rent for this. Until this is fixed, nobody's.
My god sister said this. My god sister said if everybody was to just stop paying rent and come together and stop this. First of all, let's pause real quick because I also want to address your question.
Like a question I was going to ask you is like, what do you think will solve gentrification? And I was trying to think about my answer, but like, what do you think will solve gentrification?
Realistically, us. All of us together at once. We really need to protest. That's the only way I see this happening. The neighborhood needs to do. You see what SAG and them are doing now. My actors union. You see how everybody's coming together and striking and not doing shows and stuff until all actors and writers and stuff get fair pay and whatnot. And all of that we've been demanding. It needs to be the same thing for people, because I know there's other projects going through this too. It needs to be the same thing for people in our communities. But some of the people in our community love drama. We love beefing with each other. We love getting at one another instead of coming together and being like, hey, this affects all of us. Let's come together and stand up for one another. That way our community, the place we live our everyday lives, can be better.
I don't think people realize this. Segregation is very much still present. So since we know that segregation is still present, let's just not focus on everybody else and just focus on us and our neighborhood. Let's make our neighborhood the best we can make it. Let's make it the best home, the safest home for the children that's growing up. Why are you just thinking every man for your... No, that's not how it works.
These neighborhoods are redlined. Everybody know that. Everybody know that. These project areas that's been here for years, they were redlined to be in these areas. They was redlined so Black people could be put in these situations. Like,
it's only one way in, one way out. It's
one way in and one way out of the building, or they blocked off all of our exits.
I know what crack smell like because people smoke crack in the hallways. Like,
Yeah, right there, close proximity. Everything's done in close proximity. If there was a fire, God forbid, how are you going to? How are the elderly and disabled to get out of this?
Exactly. Like there's children in this building. There's elderly in this building. Like, yo, I'm just so sick of how like society just treats people that are considered low income. Because I'm telling you, if we were all people that had a lot of money, we would not be going through this at all. Like if we really were powerful people with money, like how if something happens and they building, oh, they all going on strike. Oh, they all complaining. All of the Karens is coming out. Like that's how it should be. That's how you should. Yeah, that's how you should step. Like gentrification has been happening for so long. Like it started when I didn't even want to say white people, but when they came over here,
white people,
when the colonizers, when they came over here and they stole our land from us, when they stole our religion, they stole our language, they stole all of that, enslaved us, made us prisoners of war, changed our diet, changed our language. That's when gentrification first began.
All of the towns they destroyed that were ours. Like we owned Central Park. Let's talk about it.
In Atlanta, they flooded towns, Black Wall Street. What? How long? Like this is crazy. This is a nationwide issue. This is deeper than our projects. This is deeper than New York. This is a nationwide issue. Like they're gonna forever gentrify because they do not want to see our people. And I'm not even going to say Black people because it's not only Black people living in these low income communities. Anybody that is minority to them is who they're going to sit up here and go against. They're going to make it 10 times harder for you to own a business, for you to own land and everything, because the goal is to keep you down. And everybody just falls right into the trap out here when you're fighting over what? This isn't your block. You don't own nothing on this block.
It's been a huge influx, especially in the last couple of years, of people that are not from our neighborhood at all, haven't even spent an hour in our neighborhood.
Yes.
These huge changes.
They're not from out here. And then these same people be shooting and everything else like that. It's just chaotic. It's really chaotic. And like you said, your answer was spot on. We are the only solution to gentrification. When will we get on board? I don't know. But it's like we are the only solution. And then for those that do make it out the hood, like I know when I make it out the hood, I'm not forgetting about my people. When I have money, I'm going to do something to give back to my people that were here. This is where I started from. Like, I'm going to always be humble. I'm never going to be ashamed of living in the projects. Like all of this, even though all of this is crazy, like this is making us who we are going to be 20 years from now.
I'm big on that with you. You know, I'm for giving people in our neighborhood something to look forward to, showing them that there's more to the neighborhood than what they try to show you.
Exactly.
Try to implement upon you. The thing with the meetings are this, because I've gone to several and my mom's taken me to several.
Yes. Me too.
Pretty much all of them. Anytime there was a community meeting, I was there. Me and my mother was there. They always send people that cannot answer all of our questions to the meetings because the people that could answer all of our questions don't have the guts to come out here and face the effects of what they're doing. When you sign that paper, we get a rat infestation. When you sign that paper, we get our exits blocked up. We get our home degraded. Our block was known for having shade. It's so hard for delivery men, people that have never seen this neighborhood before, to navigate our neighborhood to give us our packages, because being that a lot of our buildings look the same, one can't even tell what building is which. Mm-hmm. Then with all of the construction you have, being that our middle walkway in front of our building that's been there for years, known for the benches, known for all of that, has completely decimated in the last year due to all the stupid ass construction they're doing. They cannot find our building, and it's led to a lot of packages being left in the lobby and damaged or stolen, and having to go to the post office blocks away from our building just to get packages. And that's if they decide to bring it there.
I definitely experienced like my package being left at the building across the street from us, and it was nothing I could be like. You go to the door and they acting like they don't know what you're talking about when there's a picture, because there is a picture showing that it was left at that door. So I don't know why They are just like they're just so inconsiderate. And I really feel like, I don't know, I just feel like they don't see us as people, as humans. And I remember at one meeting that I went to, the man was saying like how he had basically like the last chairman or whoever was here last, he had went into someone's apartment and he couldn't be in there for long because he's just like, he didn't know it was this bad. Like, he couldn't even stay in there for too long because he was so uncomfortable. And like, this is people living conditions. This is people everyday life. So why is it? It's just too much. I feel like it needs to be more consideration and more like thought put into the people that live in NYCHA, that live in low income housing or whatever. It's just messed up.
They also are under the impression that because we are low income and because we live in the hood, that we can't make sense of what's going on. Like, right. A lot of them look at us as if we're deaf, dumb, and blind.
Yes.
The problem is they don't see us as people.
Money runs the world. So when you have more money, you're considered as a VIP, a very important person. And I think society is messed up that is like that. Like, money should not define somebody's character. Money does not define somebody's worth.
Oh, some supermarkets and these grocery stores out here don't even have the coof. Like, don't get me wrong, grocery stores and supermarkets out that are in our neighborhood now are supermarkets and grocery stores we've been going to for years.
Yep.
But a lot of them do not have the coof to be raising their prices for anything. They don't. Yep. They don't.
And that's another thing with gentrification. With gentrification, you'll start seeing more healthy places to eat. You'll start seeing more, whole food based supermarkets, more organic based supermarkets when gentrification comes around. And I have been seeing that. Like, there's like a smoothie shop that was built recently, like just random things that is popping up because they know that this specific group is moving into the neighborhood. And you don't think that people in this neighborhood is worthy of healthy food? It's like, why does it take for a specific type of ethnic group to move into the neighborhood for us to get healthy food? Like, yeah, this is just I can't believe how they view us. And in school they try to make it seem like segregation is over. Martin Luther King brought us all back together. Our government is on our side. We're saying the Pledge of Allegiance from when we're in kindergarten, conditioning us to see society one way, but when in reality, it's a different way. It's a whole different thing. Not even enough people come to the meetings. Enough people aren't there. People don't care. Like I said, they're just worried about themselves. So they view it as, listen, we could do whatever we want. We could buy all the land around them. We could do whatever we want because they're not going to do nothing. They're too focused on themselves, the latest Jordans, loving hip hop, to care about what's going on in their community.
Or just fighting and killing one another
over stupidity. And it's like the government, the police. We seen what happened to Trayvon Martin, to so many people that died due to police brutality, and you're out here still killing each other, knowing that there's other people that want you dead. Like, you're just doing your job. You're doing their job for them, and it's all over territory. Oh, this is my block, or over. Like, it's crazy.
This for all the street niggas out there. If this is ever your block, protect it. Because I know, gang culture and slang culture has gotten popular now because of music or whatever, and we're victims of it. We turn up to the same music and stuff at parties, whatever. But here's the tea. They were actually put in place to protect the community. Where are y'all? Where are y'all when stuff is happening? Where are y'all when stuff is being done to this neighborhood?
Exactly.
Where are y'all? Where are y'all?
You run the block. You don't go to none of the meetings. You don't sit down and listen. Your mother live on this block. Your brothers, your sisters, your family live on this block.
Your whole clan, your whole ancestry.
Like, you are the problem. And that's what I always said. If I was to buy NYCHA, there's so many people that's being moved out. Like, I'm not playing. Because if you can't treat your home like a home, go somewhere else with that. There's actually people out here that value their home, no matter if it's what it is. We take care of our home. We take care of ourselves, our family, our community. If you don't have that mentality, you got to go. And that's the time and night she needs to be on. Seriously.
When it comes to the houses, like, for example, let's say back in the day, our apartment don't really got roaches. When we first moved into this apartment, we had roaches like crazy up until I started middle school. The stuff that we even bought just to get rid of our roaches wasn't nothing that housing provided us. Actually, the shit housing provided us made it worse. And
yes,
the stuff that we even use to get rid of our roaches, we got from elsewhere, like outside of town. You know what I mean? That also says a lot. But my thing is this. I don't care how beautiful your apartment may be, a roach and or a mouse have ran through it.
Exactly.
Sorry. And you know why? Especially now, that's more common because the walls.
They're in the walls.
They're in the infrastructure.
Yep.
In the infrastructure. You know, some people in our neighborhood like to talk. You can't talk. You can't.
Honestly.
All of our apartments, we're all going through the same shit.
Somebody tried to tell me earlier, oh, you're broke, you live in a project, this, that, and the third. And I'm like, I'm grateful that I have a roof over my head. Like, I'm not going to sit up here and, like, even though the conditions is crazy, like I said, it could be worse. And I'm just grateful that I have a roof over my head. It's nothing for you to judge. Because at the end of the day, we're young. And I'm not even going to judge the people that's been in housing for like 40, 50 years. I don't support that, though. Like, I don't think you should limit yourself to that. There's more to the world. But I feel like if you're young and you got, because you know how long it takes for people to get into NYCHA? Like, it's crazy. People
and that's another thing, the damn waiting list just to endure it.
People would kill for NYCHA apartments. Like, people can say whatever they want. Like, oh, you got roaches, this, and the third. As long as you're clean. Because one thing about my mother, that is a clean woman. My mother cleans day in, day
Janera,
out.
you don't even have to persuade me. I stepped foot in your house. Like, I stepped foot in your house.
I believe in cleaning heavily. Like, and since I know that this building has a roach problem, because I've seen roaches in the elevator. I've seen roaches in the lobby. Like, it's not anything that you can control. To me, the only way you could fix that is literally destroying these damn buildings.
I'm about to say, burning without anybody in it, burning all these buildings down and starting from the ground up. That's the only way to really make these buildings. My mom used to always say, once this shit actually fully gets gentrified, she come back. This was condos. Yep. The problem is the fact that you guys are making changes. Changes aren't for us. Where were these changes when we asked for them? These are never-ending conditions. Never-ending conditions. And it's only going to stop once we all in unison, not just a few of us, not just a quarter of us, all in unison decide to march down housing or wherever the fuck and be like, it stops now. The thing about this specific Freedom Flashback topic is it's kind of like the trains. It's something that's still currently endured. Like, when I leave my house right now, this is what I'm going to see. You understand?
This is real life.
For real. This is real life. Y'all are going to see Janera's face again. And, you know, let's just say Janera got a lot of stuff coming y'all way in the future. And I'm excited for her to, you know, come back on here and just share a lot of what she has coming forward. So please, she will not be a stranger to this podcast. I'm letting y'all know that right now.
We're going to make history. We're making history. With every video you make, you're making history.
Oh, good. How you say our episodes specifically are iconic. Like, it's
iconic.
Stay tuned for everything that I have coming up. And I guess that is just me, Simon.
Yes, see you. Thank you.
A spirit, a devotion. We're making magic. Come on and talk when you got the time. Freedom, what you wanna learn. We wanna hear from you. You got it going. Let your voice shine. Platform yours is not just mine. We wanna hear from you.